On that, after this break, so come back, Tottenham, Bayern, Chelsea.
Don't get much harder than that, does it?
Mikel, man, let's see what, even the team, let's see what they're about. You just speaking there about big games.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Bayern are on fire at the moment. Obviously, Diaz will be out. Tottenham, you know what that's going to be. And then Chelsea at the bridge, like Lee said, that, I looked at the table. They're like 5 points behind
us? They've been playing well as well. They scored 3 last game, dominated. I know it's only Wolves, but they look good. They do look better. They've obviously been missing Cole Palmer for a while as well. He might be back to play us. Hope not, but he might be. I think Tottenham as well. Obviously, they've not been great this season, but people forget it's a North London derby. No matter what form they're in, it's going to be a tough game. But I do think, like what Lee said, I think there is a bit of pressure on that Tottenham game for us now. They also conceded in the last minute. We've conceded a lot. We're both going to be winning that game. They've had a few injuries to the front line. I think Solanke's been out for a while now as well.
Yeah.
But I think it is big. I'm not sure on the latest on Gyökeres, but I just don't want to be going into that game with Marino, to be honest.
Do you know what? I honestly, yesterday was like, as a fan, I've been so relaxed. I'm thinking we're going to cruise off into the sunset. I know it never works like that, but that's just we were saying the other week, we could be 10 points clear by the international break. All of a sudden, they've clawed us back, and you think the one team you don't want chasing you is a Pep Guardiola team. With Haaland firing, they took that 8 points off us a couple of years ago like it was nothing.
Yeah.
So now you're thinking 4 points, we still got to go there. We can't afford to be slipping. I think we need to win both those league games.
That's the thing about Bayern Munich, because obviously international break, people like Gabriel is going to be flying back from Brazil and stuff, and then playing 3 games in a week of Bayern Munich, Tottenham and Chelsea. That Bayern Munich game, would you rotate, considering our stance in the league, or is it just a big game and we have to go for all 3 and hope for the best?
I'm rotating a bit for that game, because if people are back, I'm definitely rotating. Bayern, by the way, they also drew. They got a shock 2-2, same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Away at Union Berlin, that's another place with a great atmosphere, and I think Harry Kane just scored like a goal right at the end to salvage a draw for them. So. Bit like us, they've had a slight stutter when they've been absolutely flying. But I see those Premier League games as more important. Obviously Tottenham is, even if we're at the bottom of the league, it's important. That Chelsea one as well, and I think we can go to the bridge and win. Because, I've seen Chelsea in a few games this season. I mean, very good attacking team, but defensively can definitely be got at. And Spurs, they have been better away, to be fair, Spurs. That's where they've done all their good work, has been away from home. They've been very poor at home. So they are 2 tough games, but I do still feel that, especially if we can get players back, that bit of feel good, I would definitely rotate. Because to me, the Bayern game, big game. I think the good thing about it is that if I remember rightly, I'm sure Chelsea have got Barcelona during midweek as well. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with their game. Are they going to rotate as well? I don't know.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a better position in the league table, the Champions League table to them. So I think we need to win less than them right now, because obviously you want to win the league format, or whatever it's called now. You want to win, and you want to win every game. But I mean, going back to last season, Liverpool won the league format and then drew PSG in the next round and got knocked out straight away. So I think obviously you want to get into that top 8, so you miss out them extra fixtures. But as long as you're in the top 8, I think it's just luck of the draw at that point. So don't want to get embarrassed by anyone. Want to make it competitive and stuff. But if we were to lose to Bayern but win our league games, I think everyone will be happy.
Yeah,
I'm with that. I'm with that.
Go on, Lee.
No, I'm with that. Like, strongest as possible team against Tottenham. Rotate, get a few minutes under the belts of the players coming back against Bayern. If you don't win that game, it's not great, but at the end of the day, you can still recover from it and then go very, very strong against Chelsea as well. I think, dropping those 2 points on Saturday, we've got to pick up points where sometimes you're not expected to pick up points. So I think we're expected to pick up points at home against Spurs because we're at home. But I think that Chelsea game, I think a lot of people go, oh, draw. I think we drew there last season. And you walk away from places like that game, do you know what? It's not a bad point. But now I think we've got to go there and win as well, after what happened against Sunderland.
I need to see Declan Rice and Saka withdrawing from that England squad with a slight niggle. You know them ones.
Ferguson used to do that all the time. Beckham's out with a knock. You're like, what knock?
You know, when you come back, relax for 2 weeks ahead of that. That Tottenham game's absolutely massive, man. I want everybody fresh for that. Players back, feel good factor, you know, and just really just go flying into that game because it's such a big game. I mean, it is going to set the tone for the next period of games. You know what I mean? So I just want, you know, why is it, or if they go, surely he's not going to play them in both because they're two players that always get played in all the England games, especially Rice.
Yeah, tonight. You would think with England qualifying now, surely he's going to look at other players. You would think they don't need to be starting. I see Brazil have qualified already as well, so Gabriel doesn't maybe need to play. So you hope
you know those guys, they always want to play for
South America, innit? They're very passionate. So
but hey,
it's a massive game. I think the Spurs game now, by that dropping those 2 points, has put a little bit of pressure on us for the Spurs game because that's a must-win game now. But listen, we probably go into that game against Spurs only 1 point in front because Man City go away to Newcastle. That's not an easy game in Newcastle, but Newcastle are in a relegation sort of position at the moment in the league, only a couple of points above relegation, so they need to win there. It'll be a tough game, so hopefully Newcastle get something off them, and if they do, then the pressure will be off a little bit. But if, as we think it'll go, Man City 1 point behind, massive game against Spurs, and then Chelsea who have somehow clawed their way back into it again. Like after if they'd lost to Spurs, I think they'd have been in a little bit of trouble. So. And it don't get any easier after that, guys. I think we've got Brentford at home. Brentford are on good form at the moment. And then 3 or 4 days later, Aston Villa away, which, you know, Aston Villa have sneaked right up on the table in the last few weeks. So no games are easier. I think that by Christmas, I think City may have whittled this down even more. You know, I do. I think that we've got some real difficult games. On normal circumstances, you'd say, if you got a point at Chelsea, you'd be quite pleased with that. You got a point at Villa Park, you'd be quite pleased with that. That's 4 points dropped. So there you go, mate. City could be level with us. So listen, what we got to do is worry about ourselves. Just concentrate one game at a time. And that Spurs game now isn't going to be a straightforward game. They're a better team away from us. But listen, we're in a good position still. So it's key now for me that these players are back. At least 3 or 4 of them are back, not just for being on the bench, but to give players like Saka, Trossard, whoever, a little bit of a break as well. Because I do feel that those guys are running on empty, and it would be lovely to see Saka and the likes of Declan Rice over here, but unfortunately they're not. They're going to be playing for England. Hopefully the manager will rest them for one of those games anyway.